This is all preliminary information. This is a very large scene with 4 specific locations that we are currently addressing events from early this morning. This morning, officers responded to a shooting that occurred just after 6 a.m. In doing so, we've determined that this was a domestic call in nature. The responding officers located a crime scene here in the 300 block of West 79th Street, and this is a rather extensive crime scene spanning between 2 residences here. There is also another residence on Harrison Street that is part of this crime scene as well. Right now we have at least 10 individuals that were struck by gunfire last night in a domestic disturbance. 8 of these individuals are deceased. The ranges of the decedents are from 1 year of age to approximately 14 years of age. All of the deceased in this case are juvenile. The individual responsible, once leaving this scene, performed a carjacking right here in close proximity to the corner of West 79th and Linwood, at which point in time Shreveport Police patrol officers got behind that vehicle and a chase ensued. The vehicle was chased into Bossier Parish, and at which point in time Shreveport police officers did discharge their firearm, and that individual is deceased. We do believe him to be the only individual that fired gunshots at these locations here. What we can tell you is this is a domestic disturbance here in the 300 block of West 79th Street. This is a very large scene with multiple deceased children present, and so we're going to ask for your patience in us getting information out. We will release the name of the suspect that is deceased when we have made the proper notifications. We do know that some of the children inside were his descendants, and so once we are assured of everyone's names and ages and the proper channels have been notified, we'll be releasing all of that information.
I can tell you the suspect in this case, Shamar Ed Elkins, has been identified. He is the father of 7 of the children that were killed in this house. There is an 8th child that was also killed, as well as the 2 females that were involved. Both of them had gunshot wounds. One of them is still in life-threatening condition. The other is in serious condition, but is expected to recover. There was also an additional female and an additional 13-year-old juvenile that fled from this house and actually jumped off the roof. They both had injuries sustained from fleeing from the incident, but they are both expected to recover.
And the assailant came over to this area and shot the children, wounded the woman, and then one of the children escaped by jumping off the roof. I think broke her leg in the process. So we really don't know. He then hijacked a vehicle and took off, but the police gave chase. Then he fired on the police, and then he ended up being deceased. A terrible event to occur. It's especially important and distressing that the victims are all children. Apparently had some relationship with the assailant. It lets you know that evil still exists in the world, and that we need to be fighting everything we can to overcome that evil with good, to shed light in the darkness.
Grandfather. Christ came through his blood. Now watch this. What does he say about this?
I really got the information later on after the police was already here, but the screen that came up and calls to me, being the representative and having grown up in this area, which I still represent, it was just a mass shooting. And I had no idea of what to expect when I got here and just how could that happen. But it's the worst thing anyone could ever imagine with adults and children inside the same home. This is one of the most tragic things I think has happened in our city in a very long time.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
I grew up in the so-called Christian church.